Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm Liam Crafton Jr., aka Zorvalton Less Than Guru. We have Mars, the video cat, here, and today I would like to talk about in thoughts and discussion, possibly a controversial subject, but one that happened yesterday in my group that I found extremely fun, and that was a PvP in tabletop games. So I do know that a lot of people just absolutely hate the idea of player versus player in RPGs, tabletop games. And there's a lot of legitimate reasons behind that. One that I think is probably a main reason is the whole because my character would do that. And that's when a player wants to be a troll, and way back before troll was used in the internet, pre-internet days, in role-playing, there were just those players that they wanted to be mean. They wanted to cause problems in a game, and they justified that by making, say, an evil character and just saying, oh, well, that's what my character would do. Oh, that's what my character would do. And that's really turned off a lot of people for player versus player. So a lot of games, you will go and in your session 0, your game master or the group will almost immediately decide there's no player versus player. Everybody, you grab when you create your character, you make it so that it is a group friendly character, and there will be no player versus player, no party fights, anything like that. Just kind of get that out of your mind. Me and my personal home groups usually are make a character that fits a party, but there are instances where there might be some player strife against other players. And it's not for it's my character. Notice I'm doing the quote, it's what my character would do. It's actually what my character would do in that situation. And there is a difference. Like I said, the air quotes of, oh, well, that's what my character would do, that's just BS. A player wanting specifically to disrupt the game or show that their character is more powerful than other characters by starting a party fight. The other one, the true that is what my character would do, can provide good role playing, can provide fun, people have a chance to laugh, or people to have a chance of going, hey, maybe we're doing something wrong, whether that's in character or out of character. And yes, I have some examples from my own games that I've done, and some of them have been pretty recently. So let me start off saying that my Earth Dawn group, we have had no player strife whatsoever, or character strife, player strife whatsoever. And the core group there is the same core group as where my Sunday groups, I guess I have two different Sunday groups alternating. Basically, Friday and my 2 Sundays have people that are in both groups, as well as, even if they're not in the groups, they all originated from the same or similar groups connection. Got a lot of friends who got together in college and then lived in the same cities, and then people moved away, stuff like that. So there's this whole big interconnection of people in the group. So Earth Dawn, we haven't had much party strife at all. We're very democratic there. We take other people's ideas and suggestions to heart and stuff, and it's something fun. We have horrors and bad things out in the world to worry about instead of fighting. So that's kind of how that system goes, and that's how I would think most people who do that, no party fights. I don't want to deal with a party fight as a game master or as players, etc. I don't need that griefing going on. That's kind of how that goes. But my other groups, I want to give a couple of examples of where I think that it either brings interest to the game, it can bring role playing and plots into the game, or it can just be really fun. So, my first example I want to use is my Palladium game. And if you watch my Palladium campaign, then you might get a sense of something that happened between session 17 and session 18. One character died, and there was specific in-world reasons for that, and it was basically one character deciding, and with reason, not a that's what my character would do, was like, here's the logic behind the character. I'm not going to allow that character to be healed and become conscious again. It was I'm making sure that character does not stand up again. And so there is a lot of twists and plot and background stuff for that decision. So that is one that I would consider plot based. And it possibly will spring up in the future, especially if people start looking at that character a little more, analyzing things, finding some inconsistencies and stuff like that. But that's kind of a mystery. And in that game specifically, at the beginning I said we're going old school, and I'm allowing all occupations, all alignments, including evil alignments. But remember, evil people don't just go around doing evil things because mobs get sent after them. You can be evil, but you're probably going to present yourself as not being evil. So there's some of that going on, which is really interesting. And that was kind of my... You're not going to get... My character does that, because no, actually your character would not do that, obviously. They wouldn't go around. Chaotic evil people go around, usually have adventuring parties sent after them, and their very first hook was kind of that. A chaotic evil war leader was going around raiding, and the party was basically sent to deal with him. That is what happened. That was a purpose that I did. This is, you are what happens to the bad guy, so if you become the bad guy, then that will happen to you. So that was a Palladium. Now in our D&D last Sunday, just a few days ago, we had a really interesting in-character reason. Again, it was a good in-character reason, and it wasn't an actual fight, but there was a question of, what I want to say, there was a question of what course of action to take. So we were playing a game set in a Bronze Age mythology of the time of Troy, Iliad, Odyssey, and we are doing a lot of seafaring within the Mediterranean Aegean Sea. And we get to a point where we're sailing, and we notice a bigger pirate ship coming up. And most of us were like, we don't want to get in a fight, even though we know we would probably win, but we just didn't want to get in a fight. So we were like, let's try to get away. Let's try to flee this encounter. But one of the player characters specifically had a personality trait of they hated pirates, and they were against pirates and piracy. And that person was the one who is our captain, who is steering the ship. The rest of us mostly are rowing, and they got the tiller to turn the ship. And so all of us are like, let's get away. And the pilot of the ship is, no, I want to go towards the pirates and defeat the pirates. So one of the characters cast a charm person spell. I think there was some miscommunication. The person who was charmed, roll willpower or wisdom, whatever D&D 5th edition uses, but it was like, roll this, and they failed. They rolled a 1, and I don't think they didn't quite catch that it wasn't just a anti-persuasion, it was you had a spell cast on you. But the party, us as a group, as players, not just the characters, as players, we all understood what was going on. Even the person who got charmed, we all understood what the reasons were, what the two sides were, and we kind of stopped at that area. So in 2 Sundays, we'll find out the resolution. But that's something that I would consider a legitimate party strife, a legitimate. We have two different views, and it might get to the we can't argue about this because we got to take care of it, and somebody might just cast a charm person. Now there possibly could be repercussions afterwards, and it's something that we might have to deal with. That same group previously in Pathfinder, we were at a point where we had an alchemist in the party that was throwing bombs and in the middle of people who were doing melee, and really was getting my character upset because there was a couple times my character almost died, and there were words given as a you do this again, you burn me again, and one of us will not be walking after that, one of us will not survive, as a kind of, you could say my character made a threat. I consider that also a in-character reason. It wasn't just my character wanting to go, let me mess up with the party. It was my character getting bombed by a party member going, I'm sick and tired of you throwing these explosives and hitting me. If you see me in battle, I am protecting your butt because you're standing back there. Don't throw on me. That type of thing. So that I consider a legitimate this other person is doing things because they're trying to participate. You know, I'm an alchemist, I have bombs, I'm going to throw bombs, but sometimes it's better not to do anything or try to do something else that isn't just damage dealing, because you're hurting your party and you might have some player or character conflicts because of that. Now, let's go to the completely fun and outrageous Torg session that happened yesterday. So, I'm not sure if Twitch keeps their things after they've run, but you might go to Roll Hit Die on Twitch and look up the Fires of Ra and look at our recent adventure. And at some point it will be posted here on YouTube, but it will be the second session of our Fires of Ra. And you will see something that is very rare in Torg, and it was played wonderfully. So Torg, hopefully if you've on this channel, you probably know that I do a lot of Torg things, and so, but some of you might not know. In Torg, there is a split sides. There are heroes and villains, so it's not like party and NPCs. It is heroes and villains. The parties are heroes. You don't have really the choice to be villains. It's a heroic setting. It's an action movie type setting, or at least a TV trope setting. Not all of it is action. The main Earth is an core Earth action like Die Hard and True Lies and stuff like that. But there are other realities. The Nile Empire is a pulp 30s, 40s style heroes and TV tropes along that line, gangsters, and it's an Egyptian setting, it's the Nile Empire, etc. But there are those powers, those heroes, and we had a group that went in to do this thing, and one of the characters got mind controlled. And that's another thing a lot of people don't like. They're like, nope, no mind control. You taking away player agency. But the player played their character. The game master, all the game master said was, okay, this person who you've already dealt with. In Torg, you get cards that you can play, and this person dealt 2 cards. They dealt a romance, which is to kind of influence a love interest, and they also played Nemesis. So you have kind of this love-hate type thing going on, and the person they played it on, Lady Hourglass, she apparently has a mind control power. So when her evil villain group wanted this thing, and the party wanted this thing. She looked at that character and was like, "Hey, honey, give me that thing. Get that thing for me." And mind controlled him. So the game master just said, roll versus, to see if you can fight off the mind control. Didn't, failed. And then it was okay, you are mind controlled and you need to get this item for your love. And then the whole rest of the session pretty much was us trying to get this object, the villains trying to get this object, and one of our party members trying to get the object for the villain. And it was hilarious, and we all understood what was happening. All of us players, we couldn't get, it's not like we got mad. One of our people got mind control, because if you have mind control and you're a player, you expect that for to happen to the villain. So if they do it to you, this player went along with it, was playing cards against us, was messing up things. We were messing him up, he was messing us up. There's a stage we're doing a chase, which you have different stages in a chase, and we got up to a certain stage, and he did a thing to knock everybody back to the beginning of the chase, basically. And then was trying to do other things, and we were negating that, and he was negating stuff, and it went on, and it was hilarious. It was great. It was just one of the most, it was probably the most player versus player thing that I've ever had in a group that was just fun on so many different levels. It was, you're used to playing cards and possibilities and using the game system as heroes as a group to impede and take out the villains. This added a little extra cog in the machine, because we were doing that to the villains, plus we were doing that to our party member, and they were doing it to us, and it just gave a unique situation that was very rare in Torg and was very fun, because the game master didn't have to keep reminding the player. The player wasn't trying to just go, oh, I just trying to find out other ways. No, the player jumped in feet first with this type of, I'm going to get that object first. I'm going to get that object. I'm going to give it to her. I'm going to do what I can. But it wasn't I'm going to kill everybody to get that object. No, it was I'm going to get that object, help myself, help her, and impede the others. So it wasn't necessarily like physical, although we did have one party member who was trying to physically knock him out. Did not happen. The encounter we were able to resolve before that, but it was just fun. Hopefully, if you're interested in that, you can go to Twitch, or hopefully within the week, that will drop on Roll Hit Die. It was just fun. You can watch that and see how an entire group can have a lot of fun with an inter-party fight. And that's basically what I'd like to say, is that you might not like it, and it's okay if that's what your game master, your group decides, no party fighting, but you might think about it in different ways. Maybe you just come up with okay, these might be situations, this is what I expect. These might be the situations you might get mind control. This as a game master is what I would expect. I'm not going to control your character. I'm not going to make you do things, but I do want you to put forth the effort of actually doing what you would do, and not come up with a million different reasons why you wouldn't try to fulfill that. And if it is something that is a one saving throw type mechanic, and you don't get one every round, just let everybody know this is what's going to happen. This is what you're going to do. Nobody should get offended or mad or upset, because it's just the situation, and it can be a lot of fun. So having said that, once again, I'm Liam McCracken Jr., aka Zorval Chan, Westland Guru, and until next time, I'll catch you later.